Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen, and this week we are doing another tag video. And this one was actually created by me. This is the Norman Bates tag. All questions pertaining to the Psycho franchise as originally directed by Alfred Hitchcock, the legendary Alfred Hitchcock. And so let's get to it, shall we? It's going to be 9 questions involving Norman Bates. So, number 1 is, what is your favorite film in the Psycho franchise? So for me, it's definitely going to be the original classic from 1960 as directed by the legendary Alfred Hitchcock, starring Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, Janet Leigh as Marion Crane. Such an amazing film that was so influential to the horror genre. And it was a big change for the horror genre. It brought horror into the modern age with a realistic threat, something that could happen in real life. And actually, something similar to that did happen in real life, which is what the movie is based on, the exploits of real-life serial killer Ed Gein. Of course, that part of it is kind of toned down for the movie, but it still played to great effect with the awesome suspense, that slow burn build-up, and amazing performances by the cast. So definitely Psycho, for me, the original classic from 1960. So in Psycho 2, Norman is pushed to the edge of sanity. If he wasn't provoked, would he return to his murderous ways? I feel like eventually, yes, he would return to his ways, because it's just bound to happen. Something is bound to trigger him off at some point. Yeah, he'd probably do alright for a little while, but I think eventually something would tick him off, and something would set off those alarms and bring out Mother, if you will, even though he was provoked by other people into setting him over the edge, I feel like eventually he would anyway. Number 3 is Psycho 3 a slasher film? I feel like, yes, it is a slasher film. Whereas you could say the original is more of a murder suspense thriller, and the second film kind of continues in that tradition. It's very suspenseful, and a lot more, I would say, a bit of more of a classy film as opposed to 3. There's a little bit of sleaze in part 3, and then the murders are very graphic and bloody and visceral, violent in your face. I think it's still a really good movie, and I think Anthony Perkins still has an awesome performance, and he does a really good directing job as his directorial debut in this film. So I still really enjoy the third one, but I think it is more of a slasher, kind of in the way that the original Halloween 2 was, where the original was such a great classic film with just suspense and great music and everything. It wasn't about the kills, and part 2 they introduced the kills as being more graphic. I still absolutely love Halloween 2, don't get me wrong. I think it's my favorite horror sequel, but it was certainly more of a slasher film as opposed to a suspense thriller like the original was. So number 4 is, do you think Psycho 4 should have been either a full prequel, a full sequel, or do you enjoy it the way it is? I actually enjoy it the way it is. I think it's got nice elements of the prequel. I think too much, I think if they made the whole movie a prequel, that would be like too much. Because I want to see Anthony Perkins come back, because he's such a great actor, and he just owns that role of Norman Bates. I want to see him come back no matter what. So the fact that we get both the continuation of Psycho 3 and a little peek into his past as young Norman when he was a teenager is really interesting. So you get to see both sides of it, and I like that about Psycho 4. So I enjoy Psycho 4. Some people don't, Number 5 is, which film is more influential to the slasher genre? Psycho or Halloween? I gotta say Psycho on that. I feel like if Psycho had never been made, there would never be Halloween, there would never be Black Christmas, there would never be Friday the 13th, there would never be My Bloody Valentine, all that stuff. There would never be Maniac. I feel like the slasher genre wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Psycho. So, number 6 is Norman Bates is based on real-life serial killer Ed Gein. Do you agree with the choice to make Norman a more charming, handsome, relatable character, as opposed to real-life serial killer Ed Gein? He wasn't quite that handsome, wasn't quite that charming. I think it is a little bit... Yeah, I think at that time it would be too brutal, and people wouldn't be ready for that kind of violence, that level of violence, as I like that the film is more classy. It kind of lightens up the Norman Bates character, you know. But there's something to be said about the fact that he is charming and relatable, and he's a handsome guy. But underneath the surface, there is that evil, you know, that lurks within. And I kind of like that about the original Psycho a lot, you know. And I'm not sure if that would have come off as well if they really made it like the Ed Gein character. So that's my answer for that. Number 7, what are your thoughts on the Bates Motel TV series? Does it help or hurt the Psycho legacy? To me, I think it was a solid update on the legacy of Psycho and the original films. I really enjoy it. I think the cast was fantastic. The woman who played Norma Bates, the guy who played young Norman Bates as a teenager, I believe his name is Freddie Highmore. I thought he did a fantastic job, and I really enjoyed seeing that prequel aspect to see what led to Norman to his madness, you know. As the show goes on, he slowly gets more and more mad, you know. And I enjoy that, and it really explores the relationship between Norman and his mother. So I enjoy that aspect on it, and I think it was done really, really well. So I think it definitely adds to the legacy of Psycho. Number 8 is, if you had to remake Psycho, what would you do differently than Gus Van Sant did in his remake? I think Psycho is probably the most maligned, hated remake of all time. Nobody likes that movie. And nobody likes the fact that it was shot for shot, you know. That he tried to literally do exactly what Alfred Hitchcock did. But obviously he didn't have the talent of Alfred Hitchcock, so it's not as good. And he tried to make it bloodier and show more nudity, and tried to bring it to the modern age a little more, but it just didn't work, you know. And the cast wasn't quite as good as the original Psycho either. You didn't have the performance of a Janet Leigh. You didn't have a performance of Anthony Perkins. You had Vince Vaughn, who had more of a comedy background. And he just didn't have it, you know. He didn't bring it to the Norman Bates character. He didn't bring anything new. He didn't bring anything different. And he certainly wasn't anywhere near the caliber of performance that Anthony Perkins brought to the original Psycho film. No way. So, number 9. If you met Norman Bates and you overheard him talking to Mother in the next room, how would you react? I think I would react kind of similar to the way Janet Leigh did in the original Psycho film. I would think, man, you let your mother talk to you like that? What's the matter with you, you know? You should really do something about it. You can't let her treat you like that and walk all over you. And, you know, not knowing that he is Mother, you know, not knowing how demented and sick he is in the head. You would just think that he's talking to his mother because he's that convincing, the way he does the mother voice. You would never imagine, if you heard it in the other room, you just think he's talking to his mother and they're having a big argument. You wouldn't dream that it was actually him, that he was a psychotic individual. So yeah, that's my answer on that. So that's it for the psycho tag, folks. The Norman Bates tag, if you will. So now I'm going to tag some people. I'm going to tag Movie Freak. I'm going to tag Movie Massacre. I'm going to tag Horror Digest, Horrific Nightmares JM, Lisa Loves, ANDREWBALLINA, Random Matt Videos, Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, HorrorMetal, and Rusting Willpower. So answer the call, guys, and do the Norman Bates tag. And thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared.